He is an entertainer. He is an MMA fighter on a 5-fight win streak. He's a boxer. He went the distance with Tommy Fury. He is Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor. Anthony, how are you doing today?
Oh man, I feel great. Always, always replicate it, but never duplicate it.
There we
But
go.
I feel good, Matt. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Chilling.
But 6 days ago, we were scheduled to have an interview, and a few hours before the interview, you broke your rib in sparring. Uh, how's the recovery process coming along?
It was good. I didn't get it. It wasn't broken. Got a test. It wasn't broken. I
Good.
just popped it out. They say give it about a few weeks before I start going back into intensive training because it can be between 4 to 6 weeks until it
Sure.
heals. You never know with these. Fortunately, it knocked me out of my title shot, which I had to vacate, which I'm not worrying about it. I'm the pretty boy. But overall, man, I'm feeling great. I'm spending time with my family, my kids, my dogs. I feel great.
So yeah, you showed me your rib when we were doing the interview, and it was bulged out. So I'm happy to hear that it was not broken and that you'll be back
Right. We
before
don't
you
need
know it.
people saying, like, oh, he faked the injury. Like, no, you guys actually seen it.
Oh yeah, his rib was popped out.
Yeah,
it
like,
was. It,
hey, you guys, like, it's getting a little better, but it was
yeah.
there.
Yeah. So today on your Instagram story, I saw you post a survey or a question asking, "Are you a Packer fan or a Packer hater?" What's the story behind that? Are you a Packer guy?
Die hard Packer fan, bro.
You
Grew up
are.
as die hard. Grew up as a Packer fan. My mom's from Chicago, but she a Packer fan. My brothers they are fans, but always been a Packers fan.
Okay, well, you're talking to a Wisconsinite here, so I like to hear that, man. Have you ever
So
been up
you're
to
a
Lambeau
Packers
Field?
fan too. Wait,
Yep.
you're a Packers?
Yeah.
Okay, never. I've never been to Lambeau Field. I've always wanted to go, but see, I need to go ASAP earlier before the
Dude,
winter
come on
time.
up, man. Me and a couple buddies will take you up to a game.
Oh, what? You guys get good tickets? Y'all got tickets?
Oh, I can get tickets, man. I don't know how good they'll be, but I'll get tickets.
Oh man, how close are we looking?
Uh, like, what game?
Yeah, I mean, it don't matter the game. I'd come out there for the game. I'm not worried about that.
Or are you
But
talking about seats?
I'm talking about seats.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. They're not like the best, but they're not bad. I would say they're somewhere in the middle.
Great. Like I've always wanted to go to the Packers game. Like it's like my first time actually seeing the Packers live was the last year 49ers game of the opener. And
Okay.
when we marched down that field with like 36 seconds left, and Devontae, I was like, yes, let's go. Let's go. But hey, I'm concerned this year because Aaron Rodgers is picky when it comes to his receivers.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's going to lean heavily into Allen Lazar. And Christian Watson's not going to have a great year. Romeo Dobbs might have a better year than Christian Watson. Who knows? But Aaron Rodgers' go-to guy, I'm going to tell you this, Sammy Watkins, not going to have a good year. I'm just
You
going to
think
put that
so?
out there. Absolutely. He's not. He ain't the same that he used to be. It's going to be Randall Cobbs and Allen Lazar. Those are
Okay.
the guys that Aaron Rodgers trusts. We've seen it during the late season last year where kind of like Aaron Rodgers kind of knew what was going on with the receiving core coming into this year.
Yeah.
So if you notice how he went heavily to Allen Lazar last year at the end of the season, if you notice that.
Hmm. Oh,
So,
that's a good point. And yeah, well, you know what? I will say this: Are you more of a Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre guy?
Aaron Rodgers. I
I
need
imagine you're a
consistency.
California guy, and
Yeah,
Aaron grew
yeah.
up.
I've always felt like Aaron Rodgers is a lot better than Favre. Are you a Favre guy?
I like both, but I'm a Favre guy.
I just feel like Aaron Rodgers makes fewer mistakes,
Yeah, that's
lesser
true.
mistakes, and when you look at Aaron Rodgers, almost 20 years in the league, he hasn't even thrown 100 interceptions. Scary,
Some
and
can make the argument he cares too much about stats and that he
I
won't take
mean,
risks.
but taking risks. I mean, look at him. Yeah, we lose in the playoffs, but this man has been dominating his division for as long as he's been in the league. No one has a better record than Aaron Rodgers in their division in the history of the NFL. Aaron Rodgers probably has lost 15 to 16 times his
Yeah.
whole career in the NFC North, and he's played them over 100 games. So, when we look at that, so I have to say Aaron Rodgers is a nod over Favre. Better thrower when it comes to accuracy. He's more mobile. He can run the ball a lot consistently, and he throws less picks. He knows how to control the ball. I say about Brett Favre. Brett Favre had a longer cannon, was able to throw the ball farther. But when it comes to accuracy, long distance, Aaron Rodgers.
Well, now let's move into your journey a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that.
So yeah, you played a little college basketball out of high school. Is that correct?
Yeah, not too much. I played a little bit, a couple games. That was it.
Okay.
Basketball, I thought basketball was going to be my end goal. Like, yeah, I'm going to North Carolina Duke, and I'm about to be better than Jordan. I swore up and down I was going to be better than Jordan.
Yeah.
I swore up and down. But now, hey, I can beat up Jordan, but I ain't gonna be. Hey, I can say that, but I can't beat Jordan in hoop.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So yeah, and not a lot of people know that you actually had amateur boxing career with a 12-1 record. How did you get into boxing in the first place?
Boxing just came naturally to me. A lot of my brothers knew I was going to be a fighter. They was telling me for years, "Hey, Anthony, you're going to be a fighter, man." I just know it. I ignored it because I wanted to do my thing
Hmm.
and play basketball, which I realized I was like 18, so got into boxing and surprisingly was good at it. I wish I would have stuck with it. Fortunately, I didn't. I went into MMA in 2000. Excuse me. 2013, I got into MMA as an amateur, and then sky was the limit right there. I think if I would have stayed with the boxing at 18, I think I would have been really good, really really good.
What year did you say you got into MMA?
2013,
13.
amateur
So
wise.
yeah, and then you kind of you had an amateur career, and then you got off to kind of a slower start. And in 2017, you're open about that you went through a tough time. You were around 2-4, 2-5, and yeah, just mentally you were going through a tough time, but you ended up making it out of that. Talk a little bit about how those tough times molded you to the person you are today.
You know, Going through that time, I'm thankful because I had people who care. I thought I didn't, but I did. And I was afraid to reach out because I was afraid what people would think and say about me or towards me.
Mhm.
But as I got older, I realized why does it matter what people feel or think about me? Express it. If you have friends and family that loves you, they're going to accept you for who you are. So during that time, I was able to express my feelings, what I was going through, my depression, and they embraced it with me. They took on that burden, and they told me it was going to be okay. It was going to be all right. It's okay to fail. Because if you don't learn how to fail, and how do you learn to improve? So they taught me, especially my coach taught me that it's okay to fail, but it's not okay to fail and stay there.
You're clearly not afraid to take on a big challenge like a Tommy Fury. I mean,
Right.
Tommy had 11 inches of reach on you. He had about roughly 6 inches of height on you, and not a lot of people in your situation would have signed up and said, "Hey, let me box this guy who's just been boxing while I've been doing MMA and some boxing." Um, I think sometimes you have a friendly and entertaining personality, but when the rubber meets the road, you're ready to go. Where did that mindset come from? Where you're not afraid of taking on a big challenge?
Definitely training with my teammates. Kudos to all my teammates from Body Shop. Fortunately, I'm one of the shortest fighters at my gym. So everybody was a lot taller than me, so I had to like step in with that role. Like, yo, you're Spartan guys who are 6 feet naturally, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to get in. You're gonna have to dirty box, get in there and box and fight and scratch and kick. So that mentality doesn't come overnight. That mentality of get it, that happens over time and experience of fighting, training, hours, hundreds of hours training. Now I ain't telling you gotta, sweat and bleed for this. You don't have to bleed for it, but it's a lot of hours I put in for this experience to get this mentality. This mentality just doesn't show up. Oh, let's go. I got the Rocky mentality. When we
Yeah.
look at the Rocky mentality, we see that this dude Rocky's already fought before we even see Rocky fight Apollo Creed.
Yep.
We already know the backstory of Rocky. Rocky already had over 40 fights before we even see the story of him getting the title shot to Apollo Creed. So we understood where we saw Rocky determination. This man was fighting in the backyard brawlers with Spider Rico, and he already had 40 fights. Rocky Balboa already had 40 fights when the first Rocky movie came out.
Yeah.
When he started his progress. So we saw the dog in him. We knew he had it in him. We just seen that he put in more countless hours for him to have that dog. Now, it was a combination of work ethic and training smarter, not harder, with Rocky Balboa. So when we saw that, when he fought Apollo, we saw, oh, look, that's a big improvement. Normally he would have got floored in the first round, but chasing the chickens, hitting the meat, doing things differently. You over here running all day. Yeah, you got heart, but heart needs to back it up with skills.
Yes.
And that's what we saw in the movie with Rocky Balboa. And I tell everybody who's listening to this, heart and grit and grind, that doesn't come overnight. That comes with the territory. That comes over years of hard work and training and experience with combat.
Sure. And do you think a lot of that mindset came through that time period in 2017 and making out of that dark place?
Absolutely. All that's experience because, like I said, if someone's going through the same thing as I went through, I can be like, hey, bro, look, I've been there. I've done that. Let me show you how you get around that and get over that.
And you call yourself an entertainer. What would you say? Are you more of a fighter or an entertainer?
Fighter is the entertainer. Fighting is considered the entertaining genre.
Yeah.
Sports. Sports is fighting is sport. It's a part of the sport. Sport is entertainment. If I say, oh, I'm an entertainer, I can only fight. Not only can I fight, but I can dance. I can sing. I can act. I can play different sports. Hell, I can even do podcasts and do many things that generates money and people's attention. I am an entertainer. Now, if you just want to be a fighter, just go ahead and be a Fedor Emelianenko. Kudos, bro. Be a Fedor. Great. Everybody likes a Fedor. But I guarantee you, Conor is going to tell you he's an entertainer.
And you are an entertaining guy. And I talked about you have the big personality. You're funny. You're a friendly guy. And I also mentioned that you're not afraid to take on a challenge. Do you think because of that entertaining personality you have, that your willingness to get in with anybody, any place, anytime goes a little bit underappreciated?
I think that comes the price of confidence, experience, knowing where you are comfortably at. Like if I'm not going to go into battle with heavyweight guy or some advanced guy. Like, hey, I know. Like, let's say if I'm going in there with Canelo, okay. Like, let's be smart. Am I afraid to go in there with Canelo? No. But is it smart for me to go in there with Canelo and fight him in a boxing ring? No, it's not. Hey, it's just not. Is it good for the money? Absolutely. That's why you got to work smarter, not harder. You got to pick and choose your battles. Now, if we're in the streets, different story. You're in my territory. Ring, I'm at a disadvantage because I haven't put in the hard work in the years of boxing like how he has. But the experience of having this confidence going in there with that I don't give a damn attitude, that
Mhm.
comes apart with the experience of combat. It comes to all this is experience from your childhood, how you grew up, all that, all that is a part piece that goes into that. How did I grow up? Well, shit, I grew up with no mom and dad really in my life. My mom was there, but was she really there? I never had any guidance. Guidance. I'm an African American in America, treated like shit because I'm black. All that part that tends to ball up into a big ball of hatred or confidence or whatever you want to turn that ball into. All what I've endured as a child until now, that builds. I use that as fuel.
Talking about the mindset of not backing down to anybody and being confident in yourself. What was your mindset heading into that fight with Tommy Fury, where everyone was expecting you to lose in 1 or 2 rounds?
Yeah, they didn't understand. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like when I fought Tommy Fury in 10-ounce gloves, bro, we spar in 10-ounce gloves at my gym and we've been doing it for 7 years.
Hmm.
I'm like, we be going at it. We be going hard in 10-ounce gloves at my gym, sparring hard. This ain't. You think this gonna scare me? I've been sparring and wrestling and kicking in these gloves since 2015 with Antonio McKee, and 10-ounce gloves because that's the closest to 4-ounce fighting in MMA. Those was our sparring gloves.
Sure.
So people getting 10-ounce gloves, like nah, bro. Like I sparred in those for 6 years. I'm used to wearing that. I'm used to going 100% with my teammates. What's the difference with Tommy Fury? Just because he got height? Well, shit. I sparred with Rampage. I sparred with Congo. I sparred with Uriah Hall. And these guys are like 6'1", 6'2", 6'5". I've sparred with DC in 10-ounce gloves or whatever. It's not a problem with me. I'm experienced. I know what the hell to do when I'm in trouble. And that's where I say experience helps.
So yeah, what did it mean to you to go the distance with him? Like, yeah, what did it mean to go the distance with Tommy Fury?
Honestly, I didn't give a damn. I just wanted to fight. To be honest, I wasn't worried about going the distance. I was just letting people know, like, hey, don't think you're gonna call me out and think you're just gonna pound on me because that ain't gonna happen. Now,
Hmm.
let's take this reminder. I'm used to fighting at 145, 55 in camp. I had to go up 25 to 30 pounds just to fight Tommy. Now I'm not making excuses, but you gotta realize when I'm getting in shape, I'm automatically cutting down the weight. I'm automatically at peak that 165 peak. I have to get to at least 180 just to make weight.
Yeah.
I'm eating, constantly eating, just to try to make weight, barely making the weight mark.
Yeah.
Now your body's gonna be sluggish because you
Yeah.
having to eat all that steak and pasta every single day just to try to make the weight. But you're
Yeah.
trying to work out so you can stay in shape because every time you're working out, you're losing that 4 or 5 pounds that day,
Hmm.
that workout. So I'm constantly eating. So my body felt a
Jesus.
lot sluggish because I've never fought at that weight at 185. Now, if we have 55, it's cool. Let's go. Let's do this. But I'm going into a different weight class. I'm a warrior. I can't make no excuse. Gladiators ain't make no excuse. It was kill
Jeez,
to
but
be
but
killed.
still, that's insane. Like they just like they counter like they go against each other. Like eating a lot while also doing a lot of heavy cardio, and then having to eat the extra amount to like outdo that cardio to gain that weight. Yeah, that's that shifts the
Absolutely.
playing field just a little bit.
Right, right. And it's like a lot of people think that I'm complaining. It's like, nah, I'm not complaining. I'm just letting you know. It's a perfect example. Of like Leonidas and the Trojans. Those guys are probably like 5'8", 5'9", going against Persian men who are like 6'4", 220,
Mm,
still slicing them up. you know? So I'm not saying that's my excuse, but I can't say that was a difference for me. I've never been in that situation.
Yeah.
But I knew he wasn't going to knock me out or knock me down.
Well, what's your ideal fighting weight?
Ideal fighting weight, 54.
Okay. So you just recently had a fight with Ryan Taylor, a boxing match. What are your thoughts on that and how it went down?
Exhibition. I got exhibition. I beat him up bad. Uh, Fortunately, they made it a draw. A lot of people expected me to knock him out. Like, look, man, the guy was tough.
Hmm.
You're in his hometown. His family's there. His friends there. It's like telling Mike Tyson, you should have knocked everybody out in the first round. Mike Tyson gonna tell you, like, Brian, hey, man, there's certain people who's tough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I couldn't knock out everybody you wanted me to fight in the first round, but hey, some people are tough.
Sure.
He was tough. He was one of those guys that were tough.
Yeah, and when you're in the fight, do you treat it a little differently when it's an exhibition versus when it's a professional match?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm coming to kill you.
Hmm.
If this is a boxing match, exhibition. Remember, I'm wearing 16-ounce gloves versus Ryan Taylor.
Yeah.
I posted 10-ounce gloves. Pro. Sanctioned. Everything's gonna be sanctioned. All that stuff. Now, any YouTuber, anybody will think they tough. Throw them 10-ounce gloves or 4-ounce gloves or bare knuckle. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah.
I'm like Tupac. How do you want it? How does it feel?
Well, speaking of YouTubers, KSI is fighting a rapper who's never fought before. I think you make a lot of sense as an opponent for him. If he's truly confident in himself, I think he should take you on because you are Team Paul. And if he truly wants to fight Jake, why not fight a guy who he's got 5 inches on, who is with Jake? Like, it just makes sense, as he levels up his competition. What do you think about that potential match?
I think that potential match works. I think that tells people if you beat him in a pro match, then you're ready to fight Jake Paul.
Yeah.
These exhibitions, I'm done doing exhibition matches because it just lowers my worth. It doesn't do nothing for me. It doesn't absolutely do nothing for me.
So let's talk about you as Jake Paul's sparring partner. You sparred him before the Ben Askren fight. You guys went back at it a little bit on social medias. And then BJ Flores brought you in, and you stayed with the team. Just talk about that experience with Jake and what that meant to you.
Oh, man, the experience was good. Jake was a humble guy. He brought me into his house. I got to meet his friends, his family, a lot of people, very important people around him. Jake's a very fair guy. I can't knock him because he treated me with a lot of respect. He didn't have to, but he did. I just think a lot of people criticize him and they don't really understand what they're criticizing about him.
Sure.
I ask people, why you don't like Jake Paul? Because he talks shit. But what is he doing? Talking shit about other people about what? Because he's speaking the truth? Or because you don't like him because the last person said, oh, you didn't know that Jake Paul advocates for fighter pay for UFC. Oh, you didn't know that Jake Paul advocates for women's boxing. Oh, you didn't know that Jake Paul takes money out of his pocket and gives to the fighters. You don't see Jake Paul disrespecting the sport of boxing or disrespecting the sport of MMA. He might be trash talking his opponent, but what is he doing besides that? So you got to educate people. I thought that way too. I honestly thought that way about Jake Paul until I met the guy and I realized, oh, man, he's a really humble, chill guy. When it's time to turn it on, turn it
on. Who do you think Jake should fight next?
I don't know. It's a million people out there he can fight. I don't know.
You think? See, I kind of look at the other way. I feel like the options are kind of limited right now.
I mean, Jake can be fighting all these YouTubers if he wanted to. And
He's above that, though.
Right. But if he wanted to, like all these boxers like Haney and Canelo fight 20 guys in a row where their records are like, 0 wins and 50 losses.
Yeah.
Jake could have did that, but gone 20-0 and said, hey, I'm ready to take on for a world champion. He could obviously do that, but he's doing it to a point where he doesn't need to prove himself wrong to anybody. He's going in there. He's fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, if I choose Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.,
Okay. Why is that?
just because he fought Anderson Silva
And lost.
and lost.
Yeah. I why not Anderson Silva?
Uh, too old. Honestly, she's too old.
Yeah.
You know, when you're fighting, when he fought Chavez, it was more of a hard work beats skills, talent.
Sure.
Chavez was a talented fighter, but not a hard worker. Anderson Silva, hard worker, but not a talented boxer. Now, we gotta let people know these are totally two different things. Boxer and striker are totally two different meanings. When they say, "Oh, Anderson Silva is the best striker in the game," he can easily striker, meaning elbows, kicks, punches, knees. That's striker. Boxing is different.
Sure. What do you think about, he was going to fight Hasim Rahman. What do you think about all that drama with Hasim Rahman?
I think the
Or
UFC.
Rahman, pardon me. Used to
No,
chill Sutton calling him bottom ramen. So
no, it's
Hasim
fine.
Rahman.
I think the New York State Commission canceled it. Honestly, I think they didn't like the way where Rockman was at. I can't speak on it because I don't know much of it. But I don't think. I think that the NY Commission didn't like where Rockman was at, and they canceled it on their behalf.
Sure.
So
I suggest to you, how about Kenzie Morrison? I just had him on the show a week ago.
Who's Kenzie Morrison? I'm sorry if I'm I'm bad.
The guy who knocked out Hasim Rahman before in April. The son of Tommy Morrison.
Oh man, he seems. Hey, I'm proud. Hey, he seems like he's doing the right things. I don't know of him until I heard of him, but I'm surprised why I didn't hear of him. How old is he?
He's 32, and he's 20-0 as a boxer.
Yeah, wow, that's unbelievable, man. I want to see him fight some more. Here's the sad thing about boxing, right? He's 32 years old. He already has 20 fights, and he's just now getting noticed after the Hasim fight. Just now. That tells you, for me to start making Canelo money, I gotta have at least 60 fights like Canelo and start winning all my fights by knockout. It tells you that boxing is not a forgivable sport. They need to revamp all these titles. Each weight class has one title. You want 140? You want my belt at 140? Come get it. 147. You want my belt at 147? Let's get it. No IBF, IBO, IFAB, no WBA, WBC, because now you're getting politics involved, and you're wondering why Devin Haney ain't fought Ryan Garcia. Because, well, I'm the WBA, well, I'm the WBC, and you got to. I have my mandatory, you have a mandatory, and then we got to get a bidding person on who's going to take our fight. And then once we do that, we got to make sure we have no mandatory. It's politics getting into this.
Yeah, so it's a dirty game. And I want to circle back to KSI for a second. How do you think a fight goes against Woodley for KSI? Because I know Jake was suggesting that for him.
Woodley will crush KSI. We're not going to say that. KSI is not a fighter. KSI would never be a fighter. KSI is a YouTuber. KSI is not in the gym like Jake. He's streaming, promoting his. And look, and when I say this, and I'm saying this with utterly most respect for KSI, I'm not disrespecting this man as a man. He's not a fighter. He's an entrepreneur. And like I said, I'm not disrespecting KSI as a man. He's an entrepreneur. He invested money into his gaming, his podcast, his energy drink, his music. He's an entrepreneur. I don't really see him being a fighter. But if he's going to do it, hey, go 100% for it.
Well,
Is he ready?
he's
Go ahead.
talking a lot. He's talking a lot right now.
Yeah, but anybody can talk a lot against guys who he's never fought. He's making his pro. I mean, he's making his what was Logan a pro bout?
The second fight was yes.
Okay, I mean he's going against a guy he's never fought before.
Yeah.
I consider that as a bully. I feel like hey he could have fought me and proved the wrong, but he didn't.
So, do you want to set that fight up though? Like, I'm surprised you're not talking a little more crap right here to try
You, you
give the
know,
ball
um,
rolling a little
you
bit.
know, I'm gonna let it happen. I gotta win a couple boxing matches myself to get there and see where it goes, and then go from there. I still got a couple people on my hit list. Mike Hales want to fight me. Aaron Chalmers want to fight me. You know, I still got a lot of people I got to beat up before we even get there, but I'm looking to make it happen.
Sure. No, and I like to see that for sure. I will say this about Tyron Woodley is I agree with you. I think Tyron runs through him. But all I know is Father Time is not forgiving to people who are inactive. If Tyron's not training and he's acting, he's doing whatever, all of a sudden he's going to be a much different athlete at age 40, 41 than he was at age 39 when he fought Jake. Because when he fought Jake, he had a fight in March 27th, I think, of 21 or something like that. And then right after that fight, he went to boxing training for the rest of the year. Like, he was 39, training consistently, but you take that time off and Father Time won't be forgiving, and that could open up a window for him to be more vulnerable to losing to
I,
somebody he shouldn't lose to. So, will Tommy ever fight Jake Paul?
no,
Is he scared?
no, it's just a hassle. It's a headache. There's no point. There's no
So,
marketing behind it.
you think so?
There's no marketing behind it. No. Why? If you're Tommy Fury and your family's talking about if you lose to Jake Paul, we're gonna disown you.
That's marketing right there, though.
Yeah, but it's like, man, why go to the hassle? I don't need to fight this guy. I can go through my own path without
No,
fighting Jake Paul, without having to hear from my dad talking about disowning me. And,
no, I get that.
I'm already a nuisance to him in his life. But,
No, I understand that. And how's your relationship with Tommy? Like, after the fight, you guys get to
uh,
have that drink together?
no, we never got that drink. When I do come, I mean, I'm down to have it. But, hey, it
Okay.
is what it is. I'm willing to see what happens. But I haven't talked to Tommy ever since.
Okay. And you know what I think about that Jake versus Tommy fight is I know it's unfortunate. Jake doesn't believe that, or Jake's skeptical of the rib and the chest infection, whether he had it, whether he didn't. Tommy's best opportunity to beat Jake was December of 18th of 2021. Because as time goes on, Jake is going to have more training under his belt and more experience. Because Jake has not been doing this that long. He's probably coming up on 3 years of treating the sport like a professional. Um, do you think Tommy, if they ever do fight, do you think he made a mistake by not being able to show up to the match? Like, if he lets the fight slip into like
Well, think about
2023 or
it. When
2024.
you let's think, I don't want to say Tommy made a mistake. It's just not smart. Like Tommy gassed out in 4 rounds with me, but Jake Paul did all 8 rounds with Tyron Woodley twice. But the last fight didn't go all 8 rounds.
Yeah.
It tells you where Jake's cardio's at and Tommy's.
Compare the two's punching power for me real quick.
Jake
Jake's got better
Tommy
punching
doesn't.
power.
Yeah, Jake. I want to say he has destructive power. It's more of a the power comes from his countering. You'll walk into some shit and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
You just gotta be aware.
So now moving back to you as we wrap this up, in your MMA career, you were scheduled to fight later this August, but you got injured, so you can't. But you've been really boxing a lot these last few years. It's been over 2 years since you've been in the octagon.
Mhm.
How have you maintained your wrestling and your jiu-jitsu in that time?
Oh man, I go to training every day when I'm not doing nothing. Like I'm still at body shop every day.
Sure.
I'm still that guy getting AJ McKee ready for his MMA fights. I'm still there.
Oh, wait.
I'm still a sparring partner. I train Monday to Thursdays every single day from 10:30 to 12:30. I'm still there.
Is the next goal for you to make the UFC, or is that still a goal for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna go to UFC. I'm not worried about that. I just need to fight.
Yeah.
I just need at least 2, 3 fights. If I get 3 fights with a couple of finishes, then I go to UFC. I go 10-5 with an 8-5 win streak. Can't knock that. I'm already entertaining. Why not?
And is McGregor on the radar for you? Is that a goal you want to
Absolutely. Fight
manifest?
fight Conor McGregor. Absolutely. That's definitely something I definitely.
What's that fight look like?
Hey man, I mean who knows where it goes? Who knows? Who honestly knows?
Okay. Alrighty. So I have 2 last rounds for you. One is going to be a versus round where I give you 2 guys and you say who wins. All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Jake versus Nate Diaz.
Jake.
Jake versus Andrew Tate.
Jake.
Jake versus Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Today?
Yeah.
Father time, man. Father time. If he
Mike
fights him in
Tyson.
his prime, he
Mike,
beats Jake in 30 seconds.
Mike,
If he fights him now, he's almost 60. Do you see what happened
Mike
to
Tyson.
Evander Holyfield?
Yeah, but remember, Evander Holyfield's like almost 70. Mike Tyson's like in his 40s, almost late 40s, 50s.
No,
I mean,
I think Mike's about like 56.
yeah,
And
but
Evander was 59 when he fought.
we see Mike. We saw Mike when he fought Roy on a 2 to 3 month camp.
Yeah, that's
Imagine,
true. No, that's a good point. But like that was 2020, you know?
yeah, but put Mike. Remember, Mike got natural heavyweight power.
Sure. And
Put
honestly,
Mike.
this segment's not about me, so my bad for interrupting you there.
No, you good.
Jake versus Anderson Silva.
Jake.
Jake versus Conor.
Jake. Absolutely. Conor's too small.
What about MMA?
Conor.
Okay. What does a fight between you and Anisan Gibb look like? What round does it finish? Pro.
First round, me knocking him out. He wouldn't be able to stand my power.
Wait, you versus KSI.
Me knocking his ass out. Second round. He's not going to understand where I'm coming from with my power.
Woodley versus KSI.
Woodley, first round.
Tommy versus Woodley. Boxing.
Oh, okay. Woodley,
You versus Woodley. Boxing.
me.
You versus Woodley in the cage.
Woodley. I know my do's and don'ts. That man will dominate me. He's just a heavier guy. Heavier. I know that. I know. Even me fighting at 155 in the lightweight division of the UFC is skeptical, especially being 5'6". That's
Yeah. And then I have a rapid fire round for you.
Go for it.
Toughest opponent you face in MMA.
Adam Bovix.
Toughest opponent you face in boxing.
Chris Avila.
What's your dream matchup in the MMA?
Conor McGregor.
Boxing.
Roy Jones.
Okay, so I saw on your story that you've been to 16 countries. Give me your 3 favorite countries.
Rome, Japan, London.
Any place you haven't been to that you'd like to go to?
Greece.
Favorite animal?
Dog.
Hardest puncher you've ever faced?
Fousey.
Okay. That one caught me off guard. Okay, do you think he's going to beat Deji?
He's going to knock him out.
Okay. Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
Anybody you'd like to call out on the Sports Chat with Matt show?
Nobody, because no one's going to want to fight me.
All right. And then my last question is, can we see your Chris Rock impersonation?
How the hell I sound like Chris Rock? Wait, wait a minute. I'm taking waffles.
All right, man. That is Anthony Taylor. I appreciate you coming on the show, and looking forward to staying connected along the way. Best of luck, and heal up.
You, Matt. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. We'll talk soon. Like and subscribe to Sports Chat, Matt. Do it, or I'm going to get you.